What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they are out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Synthwave. So they're calling this one a New Zealand Cascade and Riwaka-hopped plus Phantasm American Pale Ale. Comes in at 6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just under 1 month old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to Hop Butcher for hooking me up with this one. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they hooked me up with, and I'm always get excited when they send me a lower ABV like Pale Ale or IPA because they don't do them a lot, so I'm really excited about this one specifically, but also because it has Phantasm in it. So Phantasm is a thiol that is derived from Sauvignon Blanc grapes, and basically it's supposed to make the tropical fruit notes in the aroma more intense and more vibrant. And I've had one beer with Phantasm from them before, and the nose was awesome. Didn't carry over to taste, but I don't think it's supposed to. So they're using New Zealand Cascade and Riwaka hop. So you get an old school Cascade hop, but a lot of times when it's in different countries and whatnot, it's not the same as your old school Cascades. So we'll see how that plays with the Riwaka, which is a not a super new hop, but one that a lot of breweries are using nowadays. But yeah, anyway, not going to read the tasting notes. That's after we review it. So let me give it a pour here. Ooh, it's looking so light and vibrant. I'm liking it. All right, go like that. Put this over here, and yeah, I poured it a little aggressive at the end there, so that's why I got a 3-finger head. Anyway, but yeah, that has this really nice. I would just say straight up orange color. A lot of times say honey orange or yellow orange. This is a nice lighter orange color. Kind of looks like OJ. On camera, maybe a little bit more dull, but in person, straight up like carbonated OJ. Has a 3-finger off-white, creamy looking head. Some tightly compact bubbles with some bigger, medium, I'd say medium size, not really bigger, but it just looks nice. It just looks like a nice 6% pale ale. Let's get a nose. Whew. So it's been a long time since I could say this, but I'm getting a shit ton of grapefruit off the nose on this one, like lots of grapefruit. Now, that's probably the Cascade. A lot of old school beers, let's go West Coast, or even if you just go old East Coast, or just old American IPAs, a lot of times you get, the marriage between like the malt and the hops, and it would be like caramel malt, bready malt, and then the hops would usually produce a citrus tone, which was typically grapefruit, sometimes orange. That's what this reminded me of, is just like a lot of grapefruit. All types of grapefruit. Ruby red, pink, white. It seems a little bit sweeter, but then it has like a rindy, almost zesty kind of nose to it as well. This is just huge in citrus. There's orange, there's tangerine, there's a little bit of lemon. After that, there's a nice, like sweet, more stone fruit-esque type of character. I'd say more of a peach or an apricot, something in that realm. And then there's this nice herbaceous, almost floral tone to the nose. It's very welcoming because it breaks up all that citrus goodness. But a lot of times when you just have one single note, even if it is a little bit more complex within that range, like so in this case citrus, but you can say ruby red grapefruit, you can say pink grapefruit and white grapefruit and all the grapefruits, and then over here you have orange. You can say, okay, that's a super complex citrus nose, but it's just citrus, right? But that floral, almost herbaceous type of nose breaks that up and makes it quite not super complex, but decently so. But for something 6%, it smells really vibrant, really fresh, just under a month old, but I think that Phantasm is playing a role, maybe with that peach and apricot. It said tropical fruit specifically. I'm not getting a lot of tropical fruit, just more of a stone fruit and citrus. But anyway, it smells very good, so let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Hop Butcher. This is definitely has an old school vibe to it with new school influences. That's the first thing. And I can taste the malt. And that's one thing I like about these Hop Butcher lower ABVs, like 6.5 or lower. I get a nice substantial kind of malt character underneath everything. So by then, this one's like lower side to medium body at 6%. It's a little bit bigger than I anticipated. The mouthfeel, when they're lower ABV like this from Hop Butcher, I usually don't get that bonkers, mouthfeel you get from a lot of their 7.5% double IPAs. This is nice and smooth on the finish, but there's a lot of spritzy carbonation, very effervescent on the palate, which I prefer for something that's 6% in a pale ale. I want that. I don't think I want it super smooth and crazy creamy or anything. I think this is more appropriate for what I want specifically. The glass lacing is phenomenal. Okay, taste. So right from him with a malt sweetness, and it is this nice crackery, slightly grainy type of malt sweetness, and it's omnipresent. It carries throughout the palate, but it's underlying at all times. So like on the sides and underneath my tongue, it just has like this almost just like malt sensation that's really, really cool. But on top of it, all that citrus fruit hits me right at the forefront, and it's sweeter grapefruit, sweeter orange, sweeter lemon, but there's also the zesty, pithy type of bitterness that you're like the citrus oils are kind of on my tongue at the same time. And that carries on until about 2/3 of the way through the palate. The kiss of peach and apricot stone fruit, like almost like a jammy sensation from them, was more than like a juicy kind of profile. And finishes with this slightly herbal, slightly floral type of hop character. This one finishes mild to moderately bitter, but like semi-dried, almost full-on dry on the back of my palate. Super fucking drinkable. For a 6% pale ale, this is tasty because it's giving me, like I said, old school vibes with that big blast of citrus, which is nice. Plus, it has a real nice dry finish. It's very balanced. It's not too sweet. I don't think I want any more bitterness just because the dryness is already doing enough to stop it from being too sweet. And I love that malt character on the bottom of my palate, just kind of, you know, carrying those hops through the entire palate. Yeah, really nice. I'm digging this one quite a bit. It's not mind-blowing to me, but what is in that can and now in my glass and what is now in my body, I really dig it. For a 6% American pale ale, I think they've done a great job with it. So I have no problems giving Synthwave from Hop Butcher. We'll do the taste notes. I'm staring right at them now. I will give that a low 4.25 out of 5 and go 4.15 out of 5. I think it's a really solid, well-made American pale ale. Like I said, old school with new school influences, kind of like a hybrid of like a West Coast IPA, New England IPA. It's really delicious. So like I said, 4.15 out of 5. Tasting notes. Bright lemon. Not for me. I mean, I'm getting, lemon was like the 4th citrus character that I mentioned. I mean, yeah, you could say lemon, but for me, it's more grapefruit and orange, and grapefruit really leading the way. Juicy grapefruit. Yeah, they nailed that one. Juicy. I wouldn't necessarily say juicy grapefruit, but you can say juicy grapefruit. I said juicy. I don't know if I actually said juicy grapefruit, but I said sweeter grapefruit. And then, but you get like the pith in the rind and whatnot, and then like the oils from the citrus fruit. So yeah, that's fine. And then pleasant floral. Yeah, I mean, I would say the floral aspect of this one is pleasant. It's a mix of an herbaceousness with that floral aspect to me. So I think they pretty much got 2 out of 3. Bright lemon, not as much for me, but still really good. Price and availability. I think these lower ABV pale ales from there are like 12 to 13 bucks, maybe even 14 bucks. I'd say $12 to $14 for a 4-pack. It's a fucking great deal for something like this. You get this from other breweries, it's going to be probably 16 bucks at least. And availability nowadays, Hop Butchers all over the place. They don't get like a great distro in everybody's neck of the woods, but if you really want Hop Butcher stuff, you can find it. Doesn't matter if you're here in America or over in Europe, you can find a way, whether it's online, maybe some of your local stores, some of their stuff has showed up. They've showed up here. So yeah, pretty damn good beer. So thanks to Hop Butcher for hooking me up with another beer. And I just, like I said, I love that this is lower ABV pale ale that I really enjoy. Is it my favorite like low ABV pale ale from them? Maybe, might be. I can't remember how many they've sent my way. Probably like a handful of them, but it's really good. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. 6%. You crush these all day because you can't even tell there's alcohol in here. It just drinks like a nice beer. Just a nice, you gave me a glass and said, here is an American pale ale, I would say yes. And if I was doing this blind, I would say this is no bigger than 6.5%. And I would guess either pale ale or just straight IPA. Yeah, really good. So thanks to Hop Butcher. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers. Oh yeah. The Phantasm. I don't think it made as much of an impact in this one as other beers I've had from them and other breweries. Just because, again, it's supposed to be more of a tropical fruit like aroma, and I really didn't get that much in here. So I don't know what role it's playing in here. Hopefully something. But anyway, cheers.